we're going to handle some business. So I'm like, let's get going. So this is not, this is about our kids here tonight. And we want to start by the way the process will happen. We'll announce the inductee and who is going to present them. They'll come to the mic. They'll say what they need to say all the great things, maybe tell a few lies here and there. Yes, a little embellishing never hurt anyone. And then we have some plaques and some certificates and some pens, and we'll celebrate our Windsor High inductees. So with that being said, our first inductee into the 2023 Hall of Fame, Windsor High Hall of Fame, is Reggie Pope, and will be introduced by his son, Reggie Pope Jr. So he can, you can stay there. If you can come up if you want. You can stay there for now whatever he says, or you can come up. It's entirely up to you two. It's your show. All right.
Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well tonight, Just have a few words to say about, my father. So, today, we gather to celebrate a momentous achievement of a man so many of us all know. A father, a friend, a brother, a cousin, a teacher, and tonight, a Hall of Fame baller. His wish for this can't be understated. We had conversation after conversation, him waiting patiently to hear back about his Hall of Fame induction. Boy, was he patient. That's the most patient I've ever seen him. He earned this honor through blood, sweat, tears, and a whole lot of hustle. Thank you for helping me understand that hard work does pay off. Now let's welcome my father, Reggie Pope Sr.
I just want to thank everybody. It's been a long time. I just want to first and foremost thank God, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. And, I got it.
Take your time. Take your time.
But I just want to thank the people who helped me get here. God being number one. My mother, who would be 100 years old right now. The day we met at the softball field, May 8th, would have been her 100th year birthday. But I just want to thank the people that helped me get here. It's tough, But I see familiar faces. My coaches, George Kowicki, Barry Jasons. My family, my teammates' family, the Murrays. My cousin, my first cousin, my two first cousins there, my cousin, retired Lieutenant Joe Ward Jr., who survived 9/11. Yes. Retired from the military. My teammates, Kenny, Jack Horn, my schoolmate, Jeffrey Spring. We started together in 4th grade, and we graduated together. And the people from Windsor High School, the committee, and I hope I get a chance later on to help others get into this prestigious committee and fraternity slash, because I have to say that likely because I'm a Q, so Q dog roo roo. But I just want to thank you. Because of the sports at Windsor High School, I got through college. My mother didn't have to pay one dime. One dime. I went through college on a full scholarship. Started my whole 4 years in college. Graduated with a degree. Came out coaching college football. Coached after that years. And then I met a Hall of Fame woman, my beautiful wife, Angela Pope. She's a Hall of Famer. My daughter, Rebecca Elizabeth Pope. She's a Hall of Famer. My son, Reggie Jr., a Hall of Famer. All right, and I'm just proud because my family is here. My brother, Gregory, my sister, Bridget, who graduated class of 73, and my friends, Kenny Smith, who we work together for the state of corrections, and all the people involved, and my girl, Ellen. Where's Ellen? Ellen called me and told me, and I couldn't even talk. So I was overjoyed, and I just thank you guys. All right, and continue to do what you do because it's a good thing. And I'm just thankful for everything that everybody gave. And thank you very much. Oh, okay. Ellen told me I can get my. Red. Come over here. Thank you very much. This is what happens when you invite your brothers and your cousins and your sisters and your children. See, now you got a cousin who's correcting.
Right up there. Make some light, you know?
All right.
Gotta do it. I got this advice from a young lady I was sitting at the table with. She was like, put your phone on. Got you. Right there. Got it on.
Thank you, John.
So let's give her another round of applause for Reggie Pope. Welcome to, as he called it, the prestigious fraternity or sorority, Windsor High's 2023 Hall of Fame inductee. Being inducted posthumously, Willie Murray, Male Athlete of the Year, class of 1977. 8 varsity letters in football, basketball, and track. Distinguished Windsor Cup winner, three-time captain, football, basketball, and track, two-time All-CBC selection in football, All-State honorable mention. Played football at Howard University until his freshman year where he suffered a broken foot. Played baseball at Howard University his sophomore and junior years. Let's please welcome Willie Murray to the Windsor High School Athletic Hall of Fame 2023. Representing Willie's family are Willie's children, William Manuel Murray, Madison Murray, and Maya Murray. And his former wife, okay, spouse.
Yes.
Kim
Bethel Murray.
Bethel Murray.
Hi.
Yes, the Murrays.
Yes. Good evening. At Howard University, his sophomore year, my freshman year, he had broken his foot and wasn't playing football anymore. And we used to run, play tennis, and all those wonderful athletic things. He went on to play baseball prior to graduating from Howard University. A couple of things about him that he loved. One was Hartford. Two was sports. Not necessarily in that order, but he loved clam bellies. He loved family. And he loved all things basketball, football, baseball, golf, handicap, the golf, all things sports he loved. So in honor of him tonight, we are here. He passed about 8 years ago. He left 3 beautiful children here on this earth to represent him. His firstborn, William Michael Murray. William Michael Murray. I know his last name. I am his mother.
She named him.
I'm his mother for real. Don't look like me, look like his daddy. But he flew in from California to be here today. Sometimes I look at him and I just cry because he looks so much like his daddy. This is Madison Simone, his second born. That's daddy's girl right there. She's a lefty like her daddy. And then baby girl here, Maya Murray. He put a basketball in her hand at 3 years old, and she's been bouncing ever since. She's gone on to do great things in terms of basketball. So this little one is his grandson, and that is who he predicted prior to his passing. He said, "We're about to be grandparents." I'm like, okay. So about a year or two later, Darion was born. So in honor of Willie Murray, we have his family here to accept his award. Thank you. That is beautiful.
Can you stand in front of this poster? Congratulations. Here.
Great picture.
Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it.
The family of Willie Murray.
Hey, the Murrays.
Our next inductee. Before I do that, I'm sorry. If you look inside, if everyone got the program, it gives a really good description of all of our inductees tonight. So you take a look at that as we go through. It'll give you an idea of who we're inducting. But our next inductee is Dawn Kelly Britton. She'll be introduced by Peg Jones.
Although I never heard the kids say they can't hear me. Before I start talking about Dawn, just want to commemorate one thing. 50 years ago, Title IX was introduced in the country. And Title IX allowed or made the schools introduce female sports. So for the first time, girls were allowed to play. And Windsor High started first with their field hockey team, then their softball team, and then the volleyball team. The other thing that happened in the 1970s was Dawn and Doreen moved from Milford to Windsor, much to Milford's loss in our game. Dawn was an excellent volleyball player, still is, I'm sure. Her first year became part of the Nimrod squad, and they'll tell you that's what I called them for years. And made all conference that year and the next year. She also then played basketball. Now this is the time when basketball for women was 6-on-6. And you started with 3 on one side of the half court, 3 on the other side, and then they finally introduced the idea of rovers, where 2 girls could come from both sides and the other 2 had to stay on one side of the court or the other side of the court. And she also then played softball. She was 2-time all-conference player in basketball and was a utility player on the softball team, and then was the catcher for the senior year. She was awarded the Windsor Cup for the number of varsity letters she received, and was also Athlete of the Year her senior year. She did go on to play some softball at Southern Connecticut, and has raised children who coach volleyball, played volleyball, coached volleyball, and the volleyball legacy continues. She was also followed by her sister who played volleyball. I introduce you now to Dawn Kelly Britton. My favorite Nimrod. You're welcome.
Wow, okay. So first I want to thank Coach Peg Jones for introducing me. This is really an honor for me. I want to thank the Windsor High Athletic Committee for, allowing me to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I want to thank all my coaches, Coach Jones, Coach Chasen, and I'm not really good with pronouncing her name, but Coach Deverall, Jerry, she was my softball coach. I want to congratulate all these. I want to thank my family, first of all, for supporting me and being here tonight. My sister Doreen, my brother Danny, my brother Darren, my mom Lois, my kids Chase, Courtney, Chloe, and my granddaughter Kaylin, who's over there. It's quite an honor. I'm just so surprised how much people are very supportive and proud that I'm here tonight. The cards, the letters, the emails, it's been outrageous. When Doreen and I first came to Windsor, we were very nervous, but we were well introduced to the volleyball team, the basketball team, and the softball team. The teammates, the coaches, everybody was great. It was very nice to come into that atmosphere. So that I appreciated Windsor for welcoming us into their community, in terms of a better word. When Lauren, she was my phone call. She told me that I was introduced or inducted. And she's saying, well, you need to tell me all your accomplishments. And I'm like, I don't remember what my accomplishments were. They were 45 years ago, so I don't remember. So me and my mother went down to the Windsor Historical Society. they had the Windsor journals there, they had all the yearbooks there, and we kind of like went through everything, and we were reading everything. And it was kind of nice because I kind of forgot what it was like. So I'm reading all the articles about the basketball team, reading all the articles about the softball team. Didn't have any articles about the volleyball team, but it was nice. It was nice to remember all that. So that part was really kind of nice, and so then I was able to remember what I did. I also wanted to thank, I think it was the phys ed department or the athletic director at the time, who reached out to Milford, where we came from, to allow me to get the Windsor Cup. Because clearly I was only there for 2 years, and so they actually reached out to make sure that I would be able to be awarded that cup. So that was, I want to thank them for that. Doreen and I always say it's Doreen and I, because it really was just Doreen and I. You know, we were teammates. We were players. We weren't into individual stats. We were into making sure that the team won. Like, that was what we were. And I think I taught those lessons to my kids as well. Like, it's all about the team. It's not about individual stats. So hopefully they learned that message, and I think they did. One big couple shout outs I wanted to say, and just a fun fact, and I said this before, but my grandmother back in the 1920s was a basketball player, and she scored 60 some odd points in one game. So she always told us that, and that was something that we always thought that we had to achieve. Not that that was ever going to happen in our time, but that was just something that we had to do. And Peggy was right. When we started playing basketball, Doreen and I, it was 6-on-6. So high school was the first time that we started playing 5-on-5. So that was like a little bit of a jump for us. But the things that I want to say is that we were in the time, you know, where Title IX was something that just happened, and we were lucky that that's what happened for us. Like, when I was in college, yeah, I caught for Joni Joyce. I don't know if anybody knew Joni Joyce, but she was this big, huge, she was this huge pitcher, and I actually caught for her. When I tried out for the basketball team at Southern Basketball, there was 2 people on that team. One was an Olympic athlete, and 2 of them went to play professional basketball player. Now, I didn't make the team. Kind of wonder why now, but no, I'm only kidding. But that was the competition that was in the 70s. And a stat that I found out that before Title IX, there was only 294,000 girls playing high school sports. After Title IX, and now there's over 3.4 million high schools play. So I feel very lucky that I was part of that, and I'm hoping for my future grandkids, Kaylin playing basketball starting next week, will be able to incorporate that and learn and grow. And again, I want to thank everybody. This was a huge honor, and shout out to my mom. Her birthday's tomorrow, so thank you, everybody. Thank you. Better picture, thank you.
Nah, that's a great picture.
Love that.
Maybe they were meeting.
I know, maybe they were.
Waiting on you.
Thank you.
Hall of Fame, if you're a Hall of Fame, it's a lifetime. Isn't it a lifetime admittance to all games?
Yeah, all high school sports.
All high school sports at Windsor.
Not tournament.
Not tournament games. Yeah, we don't have control of that. Yeah, that's the CIAC. So you are admitted in the nice pen in I think there's a pass that we used to have. I'm not sure if we were giving them out. Okay. So our next inductee tonight is Sean Miller. He will be introduced by Wayne Lumpkin Sr., his father. Okay. I'm gonna come sit down on this one. Good.
I figured you would. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed your food. It's funny that we're doing this here in reverse right now. I'm the father, and he's the son, instead of the son and the father. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, I did. I'm just gonna say that in those days, I had two sons playing for Windsor High School, Sean Miller and Tyrone Lumpkin. They both did a wonderful, wonderful job playing for Windsor High School. I'd like to thank everybody for giving him this award because it's been long overdue.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out to his family that's over there. Listen to your dad always. Listen to your dad because there's some serious stuff going on here nowadays and you got to be on point. Sean, I'll just talk to the people. They say that records are made to be broken. That's what they say. Sean had a record for his whole season of being in Windsor High School, 4 years, over 5,000 yards. I say it might be broken, but it's going to be a while. We left there many, many moons ago, still not broken. It's going to be a long time. So you did a good thing for Windsor High, just like Windsor High did a good thing for you for allowing you to make those yards. So that's a very good thing. I'm your dad, and I'm just going to say also, keep God on your side. People don't talk about God that much. Now, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to have their religion. I'm just saying keep God on your side, whatever your religion is. Now, as for me and my kids, I just like to say this. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There is something about that name. Master, Savior, Jesus, like the heavens from the rain. Jesus, 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 let the heavens and earth proclaim. Kings and kingdoms, they may all pass away, but there's something about that name, my son, Sean Miller.
Thank you, Dad. This is my son, Zoe. My football journey, it seems like when I was a kid, football would last forever. And I just fell in love with football in second grade. I was in second grade and I was living with my mom in West Hartford, and I used to look out the window. I used to see all the kids out there with helmets, shoulder pads, and all the equipment, and they're playing football in the yard. And was like, man, I want to go out there and play too. So I went out there. I was in second grade. Those guys were fourth graders. Those guys were sixth graders. And I wanted to play. So I say, hey, the two brothers, their name was Kenny and Jeff. I was like, hey, Kenny, I want to play too. So the first time I ever cried playing football, I got the ball. They ran a play for me. I got the ball. I got pummeled. I started to cry. So thinking they were all going to comfort me and say it's going to be all right, everybody laughed at me. They laughed. And I'm like, you know what? This is the last time I'm going to cry doing. I don't care how hard I get hit. I'm never going to cry again. So a couple weeks later, I come back. I say, hey, give me another chance. No, little guy, you're in second grade. We're sixth graders. No, don't. No, you're going to get hurt out here. I want to play. So I don't know if you know this game. I used to play with this game with my cousins called Red Rover. So I used Red Rover to run the ball and I was always in Red Rover. I was always the last one to get caught because I was fast. I thought I was the fastest man on the planet Earth. I didn't think nobody could beat me. So I get the ball, touchdown. So it was like a high to me because when I ran a touchdown, it made everybody happy. Everybody wanted to slap your hand, good job. So, hey, I want to do this all the time. So about time I got to the league, I was in fourth grade. Those guys in the league was my age. I'm used to playing with sixth graders. So they put me at, I was West Hartford Giants. They put me at, they didn't know me, so put me at offensive end. First week goes by, I'm blocking for everybody. Coach, I want the ball. Second week, I'm blocking again. Coach, give me the ball. I just want the ball. So he said, okay, you want the ball? Third game comes. We're gonna get a ball. It's a play. You guys know it's the jet sweep. Was when the end comes around and gets the ball. We called it the end around. They ran the end around 5 times. 5 touchdowns. Yeah. So all the guys from the neighborhood that was playing in the yard, the older guys, they all came to see me play. And I didn't know why, but the coach from the team, his sons went to see the Army and Navy football game, and he invited me. I'm this kid, and how come nobody else from the team is going to this Army Navy football game? No, we want you to go. So this is my imaginary football. So I'm thinking as a kid, I'm thinking, hey, this football is magic. If I do go to football, I get to do things. So I go to the Army Navy football game with the coach's family, and it was amazing to me because I see thousands of people. I'm in Veterans Stadium. We're driving, we're seeing the stairs that Rocky ran up in the movie. Rocky came out. Oh man, this was amazing to me. So I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my, I want to do this forever. I want to play football forever. Then we go, okay, let me skip up to, my dad lived in Windsor. My mom lived in West Hartford. I was always back and forth. I come to Windsor, 7th grade, Windsor Giants. So I come out there. My brother Tyrone was already in Windsor, so my name wasn't Sean. It was Tyrone's brother. That's Tyrone's brother. Come here. That was my name until I just wanted to see who was the best running back on this team. His name was Damian Brown. He ran how many times? I wasn't competing against other teams. I was competing against the players on the Giants. I wanted to be better than everybody. In my brain, I was always saying, I'm the best football player on this field right now. That's before I played any game. I'm the best football player on this field. Nobody's faster than me. I'm the best player on the field. And it's like it's crazy because when you have talent as a kid, and I didn't know it because it came easy to me. Everything was in slow motion to me. I knew when I had a touchdown before it happened. And sometimes it's like I had a game when we played on the Giants, one game where every time I touched the ball, it was a touchdown. Every time I touched the ball, it's not every game, but one game in particular I remember. If you see a kid like that, I'm talking about the older generation, if you see a kid like that, mentor that child, and because he's special, you know. Windsor High School. I'm trying to build this up. Windsor High School. Sophomore year, I'm getting the ball. I'm running all these. We're in the 7th game of the year. I hear the guy in the loudspeaker say, "Sean Miller just ran over 1,000 yards. This is the 7th game, over 1,000 yards." I'm like, 1,000 yards? That came pretty easy. Next year comes junior year, I put a sign on my locker. 2,000 yards this year. That's what I put on my locker. 2,000 yards this year. I didn't get 2,000 yards that year, but it was close. Senior year, I got 1,800 yards, all-purpose yards. I'm talking about kickoff returns, receiving, if you add up all the purpose yards. Okay, so all my life, I'm hearing this guy is going to go to the NFL. I didn't hear any, I had no blueprint. I didn't know, like if you go to Windsor High now, you go into the gym, you see this guy played on the Chargers, this guy played on Miami Dolphins. I didn't see none of that. So I really didn't believe as a kid that, okay, I can be that guy on TV. So my senior year, I get a call from the coach from Arizona State. He says, do you make a decision on what school you want to go to after you're done with your career? I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I wanted to go to Pitt because I wanted the Steelers to draft me. So, but this guy, his name is Larry Marmee. He was a coach of the Phoenix Cardinals, and then he would coach Arizona State. So my SAT wasn't up to par, so he said, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. Go to Phoenix Community College for a year. After that year is done, I want to shake up this Arizona State team. I want a great running back like you to lead our team." So on the plane to Arizona, I never gave Arizona a chance because to me, I played football for all my friends and family. I played because I saw my dad was the biggest cheerleader. He had a bullhorn, hey, running. You know, he's making all this noise and stuff. So if he's not, I wanted to make touchdowns for him, and I played for them. And I wanted to make people happy. The more touchdowns I made, the more people were happy, and it was like, went to Arizona. I just thought of every excuse not to be there, and I wish I could talk to that guy right there and knock some sense into him, because I went out to Arizona, and you guys don't know my name. I changed my name to Sean Lumpkin when I went to Arizona in honor of my dad, because my name was Sean Miller all the time. That's my mom's last name. So I used that as an excuse. When I hear the guy in the loudspeaker, Sean Lumpkin, I'm like, that's not my name. My girlfriend's in Connecticut. She might be messing around. Which I did see. These guys are doing steroids. These guys are shooting. If you want to go to the NFL, you got to do this. Are you a doctor? You got a PhD to give us these needles? I'm like, I'm breaking the man code because this is what I saw in Arizona. You know, coming from Windsor, I never had a beer, I never had a drink. Arizona is, anybody drinking? Anybody just beer? I mean, I did drink because that's what everybody was doing, but I didn't do no drugs or nothing like that. But it just was a whole different world that I was afraid of because stuff I never saw in my life. I'm not gonna lie, I saw people do drugs like cocaine and stuff. I saw that, and I was like, wow. I saw that on TV, and the guy, oh, this is the stuff. And I'm like, oh. It was just a whole, and I made every excuse to come back home. So I came back home after playing for Phoenix Community College. I came back home. I didn't want to go back. I changed my name back to Miller, not to hurt my dad. I did not want to hurt my dad. It's just Miller was the name I had since birth. And it changed to Lumpkin, and everybody called me Lumpkin when I was in Arizona. Miller was my identity. So I didn't want to hurt you, Dad. That's just how I felt back then. And I just want to say and shout out to my kids because you're in a crossroad. You're in the fork in the road. If you go this way, this is going to happen. If you go that way, that's going to happen. If I would have stayed in Arizona, those 5 kids would not be here now. They would not be here. So I'm thankful for my children that are here. I wouldn't have, my son Sean, when he was 12 years old, I wouldn't have saw him with 8 seconds on the clock, drumming down the lane, and he shoots the ball up at the buzzer, and the buzzer goes off, and the ball goes in, and I went crazy. I was the most happiest man in the whole stadium, on the whole court. Oh, my son hit the buzzer beater. You know, brought him to, he was 12 years old. Brought him to a DMX concert, had him on my shoulder. He's DMX. I'm like, DMX say a lot of 4-letter words, but it was one of these times that you would never trade for anything. Latrice, her birthday, every birthday she had, we go out to dinner, we talk about life, we talk about everything, and I would not trade that for the world. Zoe, my son, he's incredible, he's amazing. Never had an auto mechanics class ever in life. He's ordering car parts for his car. He's putting car parts and putting the stuff in the car, and it's like, that's amazing. He makes music because he don't want a record contract. He just loves to make music. My daughter Linda, she's a dancing machine. She's the best dancer I ever saw. In her school, they had basketball in her school, and they didn't have a dance team. So she went up to administration and said, hey, I want to have a dance team for the basketball. And they said, well, we don't have nobody to choreograph nothing. She said, I'll do it. She choreographed all the moves for the basketball. That's something that an NFL contract can't buy. Linda, who's that Linda? Okay, Dwayne. Okay, this is the last one. Dwayne, my son Dwayne. He plays. My 3 sons play basketball. I don't know why none of them play football. They came from me. They love basketball. Okay, Dwayne. We're going to draw you up, I'm his coach. We're going to draw you up a play. You come down the middle, and you're going to get the ball, and you're going to get the layup, and you're going to make the shot. Dwayne goes to the 3-point line. He's standing there like this. Coach like, no, go to the paint so you get the 2 points. They shoot him the ball. He shoots a 3. Coach, no, the ball goes in. Oh, good job, Dwayne. Good job. Good job. So those are the precious moments that I would have never saw with my kids if I would have went the other way in the road. And I'm going to leave with this last thing. I know I'm taking a long time, but this last thing I'm going to say is I used to have this reoccurring dream every night because when I stopped playing football, I was depressed. And when football was done, and nobody was there for me but my dad. I was playing college football, and we were driving up into the red zone. We always would get to the red zone. I don't know what happened. Did we score? Did we make a field goal? I don't know. And I would wake up before anything happened. To me, I think God was telling me that if you would have chose the other road, you don't know, and I don't want you to know what would have happened. You're right in the place where I want you to be. Is being a father to those children. And that's my time.
Ellen Lee? Can you get a picture?
Thank you, Sean Miller. Our next inductee will be Connie Duman Mercer. And she will be introduced by Kathleen Lazinski. Did I get that right? Lazinski? Gotcha.
No problem. Good evening, and congratulations to all the nominees. I'm honored to introduce Connie Duman from the class of '89. As a 1983 graduate myself, I later became Charlie Vola, an assistant soccer coach, and Phil Melcars's assistant softball coach during Connie's high school career. Windsor Warriors have been fortunate enough to always had some amazing female athletes and extremely successful girls teams that excelled in all sports. But when this scrawny 100-pound kid showed up on the soccer field, I had no idea what to expect. Coach Vola was ecstatic, said, "I've taught this kid in PE since kindergarten, and she's a heck of an athlete." Connie stood out as a soccer player with her quickness and explosive initial steps with the soccer ball, making her difficult to defend. She finished her career with 55 goals and was a two-time All-Stater. In softball, she was a fierce competitor as a leadoff batter with over a 400 batting average. She also earned records in stolen bases, having been thrown out only once in her career. I remember Coach Melcar saying to me, "This kid is something special." And then he looked at me, Bubba, as he called me, and said, "Your job is to keep her out of trouble." I responded, "I can't even keep myself out of trouble." But you did what Coach told you to do back then, and I responded, "I'll do that." And luckily I did do that. Coach Melcar said Connie was one of the best athletes he had ever coached because of her mental toughness and her quickness. Although she was a quiet athlete, her passion showed through on the field, and she was an outstanding competitor. I'm very proud to be part of her high school career. Connie Duman.
Yeah, Bubba, you can go to the bar now. Huh, all right. Thank you, Bubba, for a wonderful introduction. I want to thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for this nomination Thank you to my family and friends who are here to support me tonight. And thank you to all of you who are here tonight to support Windsor High Sports. Congratulations to all the inductees in the class of 2023 and to all those before us. What an amazing honor it is to be standing here before you tonight. I've been fortunate to be a part of such an amazing Windsor High School family, from coaches, players, teachers, and friends. Friends like Bill Lazinski, the best athletic director in the world. Sorry, Chris. He was always smiling and had a positive that everyone around him fed off of. And I believe the originator of was the Windsor High Open. Yes, great times for those of you who were there. He always said that there is no I in team. And a big shout out, big thank you to Peg Jones for being the most supportive and biggest high school fan that I know. I swear I've seen her at every game. And to Tom Martin, unfortunately Sheila's not here to hear this tonight, but hopefully it's recorded for her. And to Tom Martin, who would always tape my thumb before every softball game. Better than any athletic trainer that we had. And I did say he had to keep doing it because if we lost, I'd send Phil Melcars after him. And even my principal, Larry Shea, who I'd pass in the hallway, should I rather say run in the hallway, because I was always running in the hallway. And I'd say, hey, Mr. Shea, how are you? Didn't see you at the game yesterday. Pass him again the next day. Hey, Mr. Shea, didn't see you at the game yesterday. But what do you know? He finally came out to the games. And it was great to see him there, our principal cheering on Windsor High Sports. It was awesome. Thank you, Mr. Shea. I would also like to thank my parents for all the sacrifices they made to allow me to play and compete in the sports I love, including numerous, and I mean numerous, trips to the doctors and the ER. I swear that I actually injured every part of my body. But I would especially like to thank and remember my mom, Patty, who not only took care of the family, husband, and 2 kids, also went to night school and working a full-time job, always found the time to be there for my brother and I. I would like to tell a little story, if you don't mind. I don't think you have a choice. But it was back, I think Kathy had mentioned, elementary school, back at Pequannock School, where they had actually a track and field competition between the elementary schools where we met at Sage Park Field. There I was scheduled to run the 440, the long jump, and the relay. Well, it was finally time for the 440. The gun went off. We're all jockeying for that inside lane, pushing as hard as we can. And I finally settled in to what felt like the 3rd position, feeling pretty comfortable, saying, all right, Connie, you got this. You might get a ribbon. Be pretty cool. So I was feeling good till I rounded that final turn. I rounded that turn, and there was Mom, standing at the fence, going, come on, Connie, slapping that fence. And for a split second, I thought I was late for dinner. But then I realized I was in a race. So I jumped into that 2nd lane, pushed it as hard as I could, didn't even know I had another gear. And I finally got to that finish line. And at that moment, when I finished the race, that not only did I know that my mom believed in me, I believed in me. And I thank her to this day for not allowing herself or me to settle, but to give it your best no matter what. Thank you, Mom. And little did I know that at that same place, that same gym teacher that got me through doing all those sit-ups and climbing the ropes, would end up being my varsity coach, Charlie Bola. Coach Bola made it easy and comfortable to transition to play at the high school level. But I do not use that word comfortable very loosely here. As time went by, the laps increased, the weight rooms increased, the scrimmages got tougher, and who the heck came up with double sessions? I hope that wasn't you, Judy. But it was crazy running up Remington Hill, and I swear we had to do it backwards. But I do thank him for that, because I must say that for me anyway, I felt like Rambo and ready to take on the season. I also know his hard work paid off for Coach Bola as well, as they won the state championship in 1991, which I am proud to say that I was a part of that coaching staff. So congratulations to Coach for that, and thank you, Coach, for bringing out the best in all of us. I then joined the varsity softball team. I must say I was very intimidated as a freshman, being the smallest and the youngest, but the team was very accepting and made me feel welcome and part of the family. Again, I was fortunate to be part of such an amazing group of talented athletes for all 4 years. Then there was Coach Melkars. I went for days trying to figure out how to explain Coach Melkars. The best I can come up with is he's probably the Gino Auriemma of Windsor High School softball. Always had something kind of quirky to say, but he always found that little something, just that little something that would make you push yourself just a little bit harder. Now, the newspapers would often misspell my last name. And for some reason, Coach got a kick out of the misspelling of Connie. And from whenever I did something wrong, slacking just a little bit, I would then hear, "Hey, Drummond, what the hell are you doing?" But he had that little smirk on his face, so I knew I wasn't really in that much trouble. Coach Melkars also had a very complex set of signs that I don't even think the major leagues could figure out. Everyone that went through his program earned a degree in learning how to read his signs. It was almost easier, and I mean almost. I could go on, but I'm going to give up at this point and say thank you, Chief Coach Melkars, for coaching us to be conference champs every year and pushing us to be the very best that we could be. So, what did Windsor High sports do for me? I thought about it. Sports? Okay, so let's spell it out. Sports, S-P-O-R-T-S. It made me feel special. It made me feel passionate. It gave me opportunities and created relationships, and of course, teamwork on and off the field. What did that leave me with in the end? Skills. Skills to give me the confidence and strength to be the person that I am today. So thank you, Windsor High Sports. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge a very special birthday, as today is November 10th, which is the 248th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. Happy birthday and hoorah! And with tomorrow being Veterans Day, I'd like to thank all those who are serving and all those who have served, and to all those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, agreed. And with that said, I'd also like to give special thanks to my husband, Bob, of 23 years, who not only is a great husband, a great friend, a great teacher, and is always my biggest supporter, but he has a great heart. He's the man who originated Cape Cod trips, the DC field trips, and also the Freddy's Fun charity softball games. Yeah, those were pretty fun too. He also did not settle. He did not settle on retirement. He wanted to find a way to give back to those who gave so much. So he created Bogus for the Brave, also known as BFTB, a 501c3 nonprofit supporting our post 9/11 servicemen and women, their children, and our first responders. He still continues to work day and night, creating programs and coming up with different charity events. What an amazing man and an amazing husband. I thank you, Bob, for all you do, and I salute you. Finally, yes, she's gonna stop. But first, before I stop, I do want to give a quick thanks to Sammy, who is the owner of Lenote, the Lenote staff for a delicious meal and their wonderful hospitality for tonight. So thank you, Lenote. And I would like to close and leave you with a quote from Jesse Owens, which I think sums up what Windsor High School sports is to me. In the end, it's the extra effort that separates a winner from second place. But winning takes a lot more than that. It starts with complete command of the fundamentals. It takes a desire, determination, discipline, and self-sacrifice. And finally, it takes a great deal of love, fairness, and respect to your fellow competitor. Put all these together, and even if you don't win, how can you lose? So I end with whoever your God is, God bless, and God bless Windsor High School sports. Thank you.
Dropping stuff over here. It's an autograph. I think.
That's not me. I don't know what that is.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Somebody ever says to me, don't be an Navy, there's somebody better than me. I'll take that.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Come on over here, Connie, I'm gonna take your picture.
All right. I'm gonna wrap all this. Else's papers.
I think you took mine.
I think I just put it back. Do I have 5 of them?
That's yours.
Just put it back.
Right here. Put it over there. This
Okay.
one.
I take that, just come with a plaque up.
Again, let's welcome Connie Dumont Mercer to our 2023 class, Hall of Fame class at Windsor High School. Our next inductee will be Leanne Jagan, and she will be introduced by her father, Lawrence Jagan. Or is it Jagon? Is it Jagan or Jagan? Jagan or Jagon? Jagan? Yeah, Jagan. I got it right. Okay.
Good night, everyone. It's with honor that I introduce my daughter, Leanne Jagan, tonight. Leanne has checked all the boxes necessary to be inducted tonight. Let me take you on a little journey for Leanne, Dr. Leanne Jagan. She has a doctorate in physical therapy, a graduate in 2010. So Leanne was born in New York, Brooklyn, New York, a very tough neighborhood. We came to Windsor in 1993. Immediately, Leanne was accepted in the Roger Walcott special program. Back then they called it the Gifted Academic Program. She entered JFK and Sage Park, and she captained her Sage Park soccer team. She entered Windsor High as an outstanding freshman goalkeeper. She amazed me. In college, I was a goalkeeper myself, so we did a few training in the backyard, but what I saw, it amazed me. Leanne was selected as a scholar athlete and also all-conference athlete in 2010. She captained the Windsor High soccer team. She was selected with the Connecticut Olympic Youth Development Program, and she was with that program for 2 years. She was a member of CFC Premier Team, which went to the state finals. Leanne also represented Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica. Her mom is from Jamaica, so she qualified to play for that country. So Leanne played in the under-20 women World Cup qualifiers in Guatemala. Leanne also went to UConn. She played Division I ball, and she got her bachelor's in exercise science. Leanne went on to American International College, where she got her doctorate in physical therapy. As a parent, I could not ask for anything more from my child, Leanne Jagan. She has done Windsor High proud, she has done Jamaica proud, she has done Connecticut proud. And as I stand here today, I want to give a big shout to my wife of 36 years who gave her mental toughness. And with that, I introduce to you Dr. Leanne Jagan.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to keep it kind of short, sweet. I am greatly appreciative for my time with the women's soccer program. Unfortunately, I ended up tearing my ACL during my sophomore year, but I'm grateful for my family and the coaching staff at the time that helped see me through my 2 surgeries and year-long rehab as I came back for my senior year, and then when I went on to play for Jamaica and UConn. The things that I learned during my time as a Windsor High athlete has carried over into all the things that I've achieved this far. I want to thank God, the Windsor High Hall of Fame committee, my parents, my dad, who literally put a full-size goal in our backyard and had me training every single day outside, whether I wanted to or not. My teachers, my coaches, who poured so much energy and time into me as a daughter, a student, and as an athlete. This is an honor that I will cherish forever. Thank you.
Congratulations, Leanne Jagan. I apologize, I had to step out. I had to step out for 1 second. Athletic director. So we have some issues with buses. So our football team is stuck in Berlin. So, They did win. They did win, yes. Yeah, they did win. They kicked some butt. So they kicked some butt tonight. So our next inductee is, we talked beforehand. I think I know him. Somehow we came across each other when we were at Sage Park. But Aaron Zaka will be introduced by Mr. Christopher Rao.
Good evening. Nice to see so many familiar faces out there, former students, making me feel better. I am honored to introduce Aaron Zaka to you tonight. Aaron was fundamental in building Windsor cross country in 2008 and 2009. He went on to star at the University of Vermont and set the standard for what future male cross country runners hope to achieve. Right, Sydney? Yeah. All right. Aaron's success was about more than numbers and statistics. He was a leader. His hard work, dedication, and passion for running was an inspiration. One experience during Aaron's time in high school I will always remember. In the summer before his senior year, Aaron was part of a relay team we put together, including several of his teammates. On a brutally hot day in August, the intrepid group of 6 ran Route 100 in Vermont for a total of 100 miles. Even with an unscheduled stop at the hospital to help one of our runners with heat stroke, the team jumped back onto the course and finished the 100-mile race as darkness set in. It was a bonding experience among a group that just loved to run. It may sound strange, but my best memories of Aaron's time as a cross-country star at Windsor High School are the daily training runs. Day after day, mile after mile, While aiming for the state open, we talked about classes, politics, college plans, and of course running. I know it may sound odd, but running is an incredibly fascinating topic with a language all its own. Hill runs, tempo runs, long runs, track work, the benefits of long, slow distance. And yes, a fartlek is an actual thing and will definitely improve your fitness. Over endless September and October days, whether it was 90 degrees, snowing, or the absolutely perfect crisp fall day, Aaron learned to love running and the endless quest to run faster. The Windsor High School Athletic Hall of Fame is a fitting tribute to what Aaron Zaka brought to the program. And yet, regardless of this accolade, which I know he will treasure, the relationships Aaron on the roads and trails of Windsor Park will always be the true prize of his time at Windsor. It is my honor to celebrate and recognize Aaron Zaka.
Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Zaka, class of 2014. I wrote there 2010 at Windsor High School, 2014 at UVM for cross country and track and field. I want to extend a thank you to Celeste over in the hall for all the hard work they put in planning the logistics of this wonderful event. First and foremost, I want to on account of Veterans Day tomorrow, I know they boo and throw things at me and possibly walk out and make a scene, but I want to thank my Windsor Warriors cross-country veterans who've served in Afghanistan, and that would be Mr. Brian Mealy, United States Navy, and Mr. Jeffrey Hammersmith, United States Army, and a couple that couldn't be here. That would be Brian Claus from a family member, Justin Borowski, still in, Jared Briscoe, and Matthew Jones, and I'd like to thank them. They'd make a whole bunch of noise and scream and throw things if they were here, but I can call them out and thank them right now. In 2012, I was a couple seasons into my D1 running career at UVM and was feeling pretty good. I'd go on to America East All Conference that season during a Halloween ice storm championship when most of the state of New York had lost power. And I remember watching two men talking on the TV, and it made me think in a direction I wasn't used to at the time, but college had started to open up my mind a bit. And one mentioned to the other how while you might think you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps every step, you really had a lot of people who invested in you, motivated you, taught you things, sometimes with little or no benefit or even detriment to themselves. At that time in my life, it felt like it was all me. I put in the miles. I went out in icy drizzle at 5 a.m. to run 10 miles. I was the one who went out to do 4 miles even when I had the flu and things like that. And it was too bad that someone slower just didn't want it as bad as me, or because he just didn't put in the effort. And but that isn't as true as it seems. And what Barack Obama was trying to explain to Senator Romney was that life's a team sport, and even when it doesn't feel like it is. And in distance running, it's pretty easy to lose sight of that sometimes. And the truth is, no one who succeeds does it alone, and that's certainly the case for me. And Mom scheduled our super healthy family meals around whenever it was I was getting back from a run, not when it was convenient for her. And stayed motivational even when I would sweat up the living room, like lifting after run weights and push-ups and stinking the place up and laying around on the carpet. And even after high school and in college, she had the pleasure of hosting both Varun Gopinath and I for holiday breaks and quadrupling her food budget. And Dad, with his obviously photogenic face, was a clear cheerleader for me, but was also a really great supporter too. He knows I did him a major solid by not becoming a three-point shooter or a wide receiver, which would have forced him into early retirement from Ben & Jerry's so that he could attend more games. And nope, I decided to run fast through trees and forest where you almost never see what's going on until the very end of the race. And then in the spring, decided to do a sport that no one knows how the score is really actually calculated. It just happens at the end and someone wins. So cross country and track. So, you know, I could have been sinking threes, but instead I went to the dark side. Me and Chris did some running and whatnot. But an understated part of the equation was also growing up in a town that had like excellent public parks and places to run, recreate, and grow up. And Windsor High was so nice that when I ran D1, I was actually disappointed by most of the facilities that we'd go to. The track at Windsor High and some of our facilities were nicer than a lot of Division I schools. And spent probably over 2,000 miles in Northwest Park and in Windsor Parks. And they're such a huge asset for training, but influenced my career direction today to what I went to in college to what I do today for work. And setting aside wild places for kids and kids at heart to play in nature and run wild, learn about the outdoors, and swim, hike, and bike and explore is what I enable every day as a park ranger in Central Texas. And we need even more open spaces as cities and towns grow. And I was happy to be a part of the planning process for the Millbrook Conservation Area in Windsor in 2018. And it's really great to see that the town of Windsor is moving in the right direction by setting these places aside so that more generations can grow up with awesome places in town. And thank you graciously for the honor of the induction. Thank you very much. That's me. Look at that. Awesome. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. All right. Hey. Which one is you? Oh, there you are.
Okay, congratulations to Aaron Zaka. One more big round of applause. He and his family. Pleasure of meeting Aaron's, I think that was his uncle. Where's my man at? Did he leave? All right, so I met your uncle earlier to ask him about me. We had a good time. All right, so the next person we're going to induct tonight is Devin Over, and he will be introduced by his sister, Sydney Over.
Sorry guys, I got a little kind of tuck in. All right, I'm Sydney Over, often known as Devin Over's little sister. To many of his friends, teammates, and former teachers often would call me. Devin's athleticism was noticed at a very early age. My dad has this story. He has this memory of us at our old house on Marshall Street, And when Devin was a baby, he took him out. We had this big tree in the backyard. And Devin would track a leaf falling from the branch to the ground. And as soon as he would track another one by one. And that was my dad's first tell that my brother had this like talent, this coordination, this special like hand-eye something that would come in handy as he grew up. And my dad was right. Whatever early talent he saw in my brother definitely came to fruition. He excelled in baseball at a very early age. I mean, he could pitch, outfield, shortstop, just like any position. He led his little league team to this like infamous undefeated, yada, yada, yada. He was so great, right? And I think everyone here understands the concept of sibling rivalry. And that was alive and well in our household. It's not my parents' fault. We're just like very competitive. Like we couldn't get through a game of tag or hide and seek without like a screaming match because if I won, he lost, and that was unacceptable, and vice versa. And sorry, I'm losing my place here. Okay. So after seeing Devin's early athletic success, I just like, that was unacceptable to me. I had to be better. So he played Little League baseball. I would play Little League softball. I would be better, right? Naturally. I was very wrong. My Little League softball career probably lasted all of one season. I think I had one hit. It was very bad. So I had to take a hard pivot because Devin obviously had baseball on lock and I had to do something better or different just to be better. So I found kind of my footing in running. And as we got older, the sibling rivalry continued. And Devin was like, you know what? I'm not going to let Sydney have running all to herself. If you look in the little program, you'll see he was a 3-sport athlete. Baseball was definitely his claim to fame, but he also played soccer and ran cross country. And Devin played cross country, or ran cross country, that's a shame of me to say, for all of one season. Somehow he ended that season in running varsity. He was like the #3 runner for the team. And maybe that's just all to Coach Rao here. Maybe that's just here. But he basically just couldn't let me have running to myself. And I also played varsity basketball. And his senior year, he played for the student staff game. He did a 2-hand dunk over his baseball coach. I don't know if you remember, Surface, sorry. I also think he hit like a half-court shot. So it was like whatever I did, Devin just had to like one-up me. You know, he just couldn't let me have anything. He was just like, just a stellar athlete. It was really annoying. But I'm grateful for the sibling rivalry that we had. And I think, or at least hope that Devin did as well. We pushed each other to be better and we made each other better. I'm not gonna read his whole resume because like I said, it's there, but I'm just gonna highlight some of my favorite things. He was a varsity shortstop as a freshman and played varsity baseball all 4 years. He was ranked by Perfect Game as the #1 shortstop in all of Connecticut. He was selected to the East Coast Pro and the Area Code team, which are teams compiled by Major League Baseball scouts. He played at Yankee Stadium, Tropicana Field, among others. He went on to play D1 baseball at UConn, and by the time he graduated, he was 9th all-time for games pitched. And after UConn, he played baseball professionally for the Traverse City Beach Bums. It's been a few years, and we're retired athletes now, but our sibling rivalry carries on today. And though it once came from a place of envy and competition, at times a little bit of spite, I would not be the person who I am today without my brother. And I will, though, continue to try and respectfully one-up him in everything he does for the future. So I love you, and I'm proud of you. And without further ado, my brother Devin.
That was shorter than I thought it was going to be, so. Cool, so I'll try to keep it brief also. First of all, thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for this honor. It means a lot to me, especially, the time you grew up, recognizing you. It makes you think back on all the times, different adversities you fought, and to get here, it means a lot. Congrats to, I'm going to read the names, but also Reggie, Willie, Dawn, Sean, Connie, Leanne, Aaron, also 2009, and our distinguished supporters, Barbara and Mike. Congrats to all you guys as well.
loyalty in teachers in high school. You can an immature, somewhat talented, and I feel like sometimes, and man, my family, they're all trying with the least run, but everyone says baseball's boring, and it's really boring. But they always came, were my number one supporters. From my, she didn't talk about herself, but she had one of the best high school track careers in the whole state of Connecticut. Ran at Florida State on a full scholarship, ended at UConn. She's the best athlete in the family, I always say, but running's also like not really a sport, it's an activity. So I throw that in at the end as well. For my mom, I mean, she probably is the best athlete in the family too. She ran for a while, but Mom, thanks for always being there for me. Something I like to talk about is when I started playing baseball, I don't think she knew like anything other than the Mets beat the Red Sox in the '86 World Series because she was drunk at a bar in Villanova and they were playing. And I remember I came home one summer and she was like, "What the hell's the matter with John Lester? Like he comes back from cancer and can't throw strikes." I'm like, "Jesus, Mom, you're like a diehard Red Sox fan now." And it just showed, the care and passion she had to me, where she learned to spurt and just really ingratiated herself in it and dedicated a lot of time and hours, and I appreciate that. I'll thank other coaches later, but for my first coach, my dad, from a young age, we were out there playing catch every day. I would cry when I would break a wooden bat, and the next day I would just have a new one. And I never really understood that, and now I'm getting older. I'm like, man, like it's $400 for a metal bat, and I asked for one and I got it. So he always stuck with me, and really taught me how to be like the athlete I became. Sticking with me, pulling me out of the game if I threw temper tantrums, which happened a lot when I was younger. But also, giving me constructive criticism and, really just dedicating his whole life to me playing baseball when I was growing up. And I appreciate that. It's not lost on me. So thank you. Sorry, I'm like pretty nervous on these. For my teammates, I know none of them are here, but one thing I always like to say is Giselle said it, Tom catch it. Baseball is kind of an individual sport, and when I was pitching or playing field, they always had my back, and we were not always the most talented team at Windsor, but I always say we had the most fun and we worked the hardest. I take pride in that, so I'd like to thank all of them, and it's great when I see them, talk about the old days. I really appreciate that as well. So, and Coach Surface, immature. I think he wanted me at Windsor High School, and I was like, man, I had everything good. I had a coach that just stuck me in short. I never really understood it then, but I want to thank you for challenging me and helping me become the player I became. I always get a sense of pride when I look back at the Windsor High School baseball team, and we won state last year. And when you think of where I came into the program, we were 6-14, really struggling. And you look at the field, you drive by, there's a whole stadium, and I remember he was out there taking a piece of mud, making it into a mound before the game. It's come a long way, and I think a lot of that is because of you. And I like to think maybe I had a small part to play in it, selfishly, but thank you for everything, Coach. For baseball, it took some time to reflect, but I love the game. I still love it. It brought me to my wonderful girlfriend, Ann, over there, went to a Cubs game and met her drunk at a bar in Wrigley. So, and here we are today, but it is what drove me my whole life. I was definitely, as my sister said, super competitive. I hate to lose, and baseball is a perfect sport for that. You fail 3 times out of 10, you're good. And I was like, that's just unacceptable. So I shook that and challenged that, and I think it really developed my love for the game, and I still love it. I drag Anna to baseball games all the time and talk her ear off about
I used to play against this guy, or this person dates so-and-so, and credit to her for, pretending to be interested. I love the game, and I always will, so I like to thank baseball. And lastly, the whole town of Windsor. The town means a lot to me, being halfway, like, across the country. It's where I grew up. Everyone in Windsor has each other's back. We all support each other, and it really means a lot to me for this honor. So I'll pull it together, but something I want to talk about, my friend George over there, so he used to always travel to like a lot of my Windsor High baseball games with a couple of my other friends, give it to like the center fielders and stuff, and I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, I have friends that are willing to, drive during the week and come watch me play Manchester. Like, that's awesome. Little did I know it would continue to college, and I remember we played Temple one day, and we had a pitcher warming up for Temple, and George and my friends were giving the pitcher some crap, chirping him, and he literally couldn't throw a strike, and they didn't bring him in the game. And I remember my coach brings me after the game, he's like, hey, you're Windsor boys. Dude, are they going to come back? And I was just, yeah, I'll tell them to come back. And they're like, yeah, because, we need that support. And I think that just, kind of talks overarching about Windsor. I mean, it's a gritty, diverse town. I wouldn't rather be friends. Everyone's invested in each other's success. So it's an honor. It's an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So thank you. Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, you still are.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Congratulations to Devin Over. Welcome to the class of 2023. So we have 3 more. Let's sit down and buckle in and let's get through this. Give them their time. All right, I know we're fading a little bit, but let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. No? Okay. All right. So our next inductee is Michael Bryan. He's unable to be here tonight, but speaking about Mike will be Hall of Fame member Barry Chasen.
Thank you very much. Hope everybody's had a nice time. Let me start by saying this will not be long. I know those of you who know me think that I don't stop talking, but I'm gonna fake you right out, okay? Okay. First, I want to say congratulations to all of tonight's inductees. You are all deserving of this recognition. Contributed to Windsor program as an individual athlete, as members of a basketball team, or as a contributor to the overall program. I'm honored to have been asked by Michael Bryan to introduce him, as Mike has done a lot in town over the years, coaching youth teams and especially helping multiple Windsor High booster clubs with their fundraising efforts. For me, personally, Mike was a great help in the fundraising efforts of the Windsor Diamond Club. Efforts that allowed the baseball team to travel to Florida, California 3 times, where we were the guests of the Dodgers and the Angels, and Mike joined other parents who had helped raise money for us to travel to Washington, D.C., Virginia, New York, where we got to play the West Point Plebes, and an overnight home-and-home series with Situate, Mass., along with the sightseeing tour in California, which included visits to Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Hollywood Bowl, Universal Studios, and other places in LA. Mike videotaped the entire Gray Line tour on our 1986 trip to California, and everyone on the trip who provided a blank tape received a copy of that trip, a memory for the rest of their lives. On all of these trips, only things the players paid for were food and souvenirs. Everything else was covered by the fundraising efforts, including the plane flights, championship awards when we were successful in the field, and the awarding of scholarships to seniors expecting to play baseball in college. The Diamond Club provided the money, and the high school scholarship committee selected the recipients who had to apply for a scholarship. Mike was also a big fan of the high school teams, well after his son Chris, a multi-sport athlete, graduated. He was still helping the Diamond Club raise money by organizing UConn basketball trips to Madison Square Garden to watch UConn play, and also baseball trips to New York, where we included the girls softball team, as we did with our Super Bowl grinder sale in the early 90s, allowing the girls to raise money for their team as well. In conclusion, I also want to give a big thanks to Mike's wife, Gail, who took on the job of treasurer for a few years. I would like to say that Mike stayed on as a parent helper until the early 2000s, and not too many people would stick with a boosters club that long after their children were no longer involved with the program. Mike O'Brien is most deserving of this recognition, and again, I am honored to have been asked by him to introduce him. So that's Mike O'Brien. And Mike, I asked Mike if he would send me something that he would have said had he been here. So his thing's a little shorter than mine, so you want to applaud that too? Okay, go ahead. All right. All right. Okay. Here's one. I'm very disappointed that I could not make it to Windsor tonight's festivities due to my wife Gail's serious medical conditions. If I was standing in front of you right now, I would start first of all by thanking the Windsor Athletic Hall of Fame Committee for choosing me for this honor. Secondly, I would thank Barry Chasen for being my friend for all these years and showing me that volunteering and supporting the young people of Windsor does give one ultimate rewards besides the self-satisfaction one feels inside when you have helped both individual athletes and programs advance, achieve their goals, whether it's in the form of victory or the showing of good sportsmanship by an individual or team. Lastly, I'd like to thank Windsor High School for instilling in me at an early age a willingness to pitch in and help or support various sports programs where needed. I graduated from Windsor High School 65 years ago, class of 1958. It was there that the seeds were planted that made me grow and prosper and feel the need to lend a hand wherever it was needed. Thank you and congratulations to all my fellow honorees tonight and and those inducted since the inception of this Hall of Fame. It is a true pleasure to join them. In conclusion, I'd like to say, okay, Barry, you can sit down now. Before I sit down, I just want to say to all of you, I hope you have a very happy, healthy, blessed, peaceful holiday season and a loving new year filled with a lot of love. And my buddy here, Chris, he read you Carl Sandburg. Heck, I remember having to read Carl Sandburg back in college. And I didn't know what the hell grass meant then either. But in any event, okay, in any event, some of you are old enough to remember a singer by the name of Jackie DeShannon. And Jackie DeShannon had a song called What the World Needs Now Is Love. So, to me, I want to read the first paragraph of her song because I think with what's going on in this world, we all can use a few words. So it went like this. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's much too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, not just for some, but for everyone. So how about if we all make a vow that we're going to do what we can do to make this world a better place. Thank you.
Here, Coach. Coach.
Thank you. Okay.
You should have sang it, right? I mean, Lonkin sang it. He could have done it. So our next inductee is Barbara Goff, is being inducted I can never pronounce the word, posthumously. Speaking about Barbara will be Hall of Famer member Judy Saxton.
Many of you have never heard of Judy Saxton. I'm better known as Sarge at Windsor High School and in the whole town of Windsor. I'm definitely in the older crowd here, but the woman I have been asked to honor was significantly older than I and is unknown by many. At this time, Sarge, remember that's me, would like you to start with an opening exercise. Would everyone who knew Barbara Goff please raise their hand now? Look around, folks. I'm not surprised. I didn't expect there to be very many. I was unable to find a lot of information on Barbara, but I know she had been at Windsor High quite a while before I began teaching there in 1967. Yeah, I know, I'm old enough. This was before Title IX. Everything was separate. There were no sports teams for girls, but Barbara ran a strong GAA program. GAA stands for Girls Athletic Association. The girls were all allowed to get together after school and compete just for fun and exercise. That's all we needed. I'd like to think we were developing the skills that would later lead us to intra-school competitions and league and state championships. The closest the GAA came to outside competition was Play Day. 4 schools would get together on one afternoon and have a single-day fun tournament. But Barbara Goff became well-known as a coach even before Title IX. Bet you didn't know that existed. Her greatest personal skills were as a golfer, and she was given the opportunity to coach the golf team. There were no girls' teams of any kind. Her golf teams didn't win any championships, but they were very competitive. Barbara retired before there were any girls' teams. I'm sorry she never had the chance to use her skills to create girls' varsity teams and experience their championships. We're celebrating her tonight as a supporter of Windsor High School athletics. With the restrictions put on her, no one could have done a better job in that position. I am honored that we have had this opportunity to celebrate Barbara Goff's contribution to the future of Windsor High athletics. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara, for, there's some interesting stories, but I'll get away from that. The Title IX thing has me thinking about a lot of things in my role, so, but thank you. So, our last group, we're going to introduce the 2009 boys basketball champion, and the person that's going to come up and introduce the member and current Windsor High School boys basketball coach.
Good.
Good evening. I'm gonna keep it quick. these guys and give them this opportunity to get here. It was great. We had a few members that came tonight, and one, we're gonna call him up, is the MVP, Doug Suta. Our Mr. Hustle, Malali Mack. Our most outstanding player, Ata Ajaman. And I always save the best for last, my favorite guy, Adrian Satchel. I was just joking. Our best shooter, George Curry. Do they speak, John?
If they'd like to, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, they go for it.
Thank everyone for being here, and you know, it's a great honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with everybody that, you know, was already up here and spoke. This is a very prestige group of people, and it's very for the achievement that we did. It's definitely something that we look back on, and it was the greatest time that we had for our high school career, and everybody went on to become, you know, successful men. And Coach Smith, you know, he's still the coach, and he's still going on very strong, still reaching success, and he taught us how to be great young men. And like I said, I'm glad to be up here with these guys, and yeah, it's a great honor. Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you. Thank you. No, seriously, like, I love all these guys. I am who I am because of Coach Smith and all these players pushing me, and yeah, in the town of Windsor, and I'm super grateful, and I'm super grateful for all these guys, and honestly, yeah, I don't want to keep going because we should just get out of here. It's the last.
I just want to say congratulations to all the Leanne, Devin, everybody who won the award. It's great to see Aaron, just people from our class and while we were there as well. So congratulations, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. We have a great team, great coach. Thank you.
I'm not going to be the only one not to say anything. Thank you very much. Congratulations to everyone.
And I want to say, you know, just one thing, and I'm gonna let everybody, you know, skedaddle. But each and every one of these guys is very successful in life. You know, Malali has made commercials. Doug does a lot of good stuff. Tar, he does a lot of great stuff. Adrian works for NBC. And Dr. George Curry over there, the chiropractor. The real Doc Curry, right there. Has his own business. So it is good, and that's the good thing about sports. And you know, but before we leave, I want to thank some people. Bill Lazinski, because he hired me. I love him still this day. God bless his soul. I also want to thank Dave Johnson. God bless his soul. He was a good AD for us. We won 2 titles behind him. So I want to thank him. And I also want to thank Sarge out there. We used to call her Penny. because she would watch every nickel and dime. But I love her. I thank her. I'm glad, I've known her. And I really, Charlie Bowler, who also was an AD for us. And right here, my man Chris, he's done a great job to help the program that's going now. He's done so much for Windsor basketball and the sports at Windsor. I hope he stays around and nobody don't steal him, but he's done a great job, and I really thank you very much. Last but not least, I want to thank my good friend, and I really believe this, that he should be up here also, because I didn't know basketball until I met two people. One was Howard Juby in Windsor. One was Howard Juby, and the next was John Zito. John has done so much in basketball with Windsor. He definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. My man, Jagan, I am inducted into the Hall of Fame, but John Zito needs to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, honestly, thank you. Thank you all for coming out. Good to see you, Mr. Rao, Mr. Surface, all you other past teachers out there. It's good to see all of you. And congratulations to everybody. Thank you for honoring my guys. I love you. God bless.
Come on up, take pictures with you. So in essence, to save you time, I guess I'll conclude by just saying, I've lived in Windsor for about 23 years. I've been able to go to other places and coach and win state championships and different things. Coach Smith, I think that was when I moved to Windsor, that was the first time I was the first boys basketball coaching position I got. He gave me the opportunity to coach with him. I think I was on a team with Opon, right? Opon, he's still here, left? Okay.
No,
so,
right here.
Yeah, Opon, right? So, so you have some history here. We have some really great coaches. We have some coaches still there that are doing some real fabulous things. Obviously, you have some great coaches, some of the people who came after or before me. But Windsor is a great town, and it does have some really great. I'm humbled to be able to lead, and work with a lot of great coaches, a lot of great families, and a lot of great kids. And so we're going to continue to try to do those things and raise the bar as we go along. I will say that Coach Chasen made a good, his little conclusion, which was bringing love. I'm not going to kumbaya you to death. Listen, that grass poem is hot. Y'all need to look at it. When we look at it, you'll get what I'm saying. I'm not talking about weed. I'm saying grass. But enjoy. It's a good introduction, a lead into the holidays if you celebrate them. Thanksgiving's coming up. Whatever holiday you celebrate around the end of the year and New Year's. So it's a good, this is a good start for us as a community. Be safe, travel well for those of us who are leaving and going away. We love you all. Have a good night.